More than 300 million rand will be paid out in golden handshakes for outgoing councillors. These are councillors who have not been re-elected or who did not make their party's candidate list. It's not clear how many people will benefit. To discuss this, we are joined by political analyst Dirk Kotze. Thanks so much for your time, Prof. Appreciate it. First question is, of course, this is nothing new. It was implemented in 2011 after the elections, but the amount has increased, more than doubled.
Yes, that is indeed so. In 2011, it was almost 140 million, and it affected about 4,000 candidates. At this stage, this 300 or so million is the maximum. It's going to be implemented. First of all, we don't know how many councillors will be affected by it. And secondly, it will be on a sliding scale, and it will also be determined by the size of the municipality. So it's not going to be all receiving an equal amount of money. And it is also not sure what will ultimately be the total amount of cost, but the ceiling of the expenditure for this is the 309 million.
I'm guessing South Africans are going to ask why taxpayers' money should be used to smooth the transition from power at a councillor level. I mean, don't they have retirement funds or pension funds?
Well, they are supposed to, but many councillors don't. And it is also applying to the full-time councillors. There are two categories of councillors, the full-time and the part-time, and this is mainly for the full-time councillors. So it was their main form of income. And the argument, and incidentally, it applies also to members of parliament and the members of the provincial legislatures since 2008. So it's not only at local government level. The main argument is that they will only receive their pension payouts later on, and it is almost the type of a bridging financing that is taking place for equal to 3 months' income, and it is regarded as some form of, because it is for many of the councillors, it's unexpected. They didn't know when before the election whether they will be re-elected or now or not, and therefore it is seen as a way of carrying them through a sort of a transitional period.
But, Prof, many companies retrench South Africans in a very unexpected manner. They don't get any payments from government. Why the special treatment?
Well, as I've said, it applies to all public representatives, and it is regarded as a type of a bonus almost, if we can say that. Yes, you are correct. It does not apply to the public, to the private sector in general. And it is also not applicable to people who, for example, lose their jobs through disciplinary hearings and so on. So it is very generous, and I fully agree with that. But it is something which, as I said, applies to all spheres of government.
Is it excessive? Can South Africa afford something like this, given that we have such high levels of poverty?
Yeah, that's a very difficult question, because some people will say no, it is almost losing money for nothing. You don't see anything in return in the form of that they serve in public positions. On the other side is it that it is, if they are not doing it, they are possibly going to get some other form of income or social grant that will be necessary to carry them through. Because some people certainly become effectively unemployed now after the election.
Do you know if this is done anywhere else in the world?
I'm not sure about that. It is done in other parts of the world, no.
All right, thank you very much for that. That was political analyst Professor Dirk Kotze from the University of South Africa.